What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. Got an overview for a prototype that you may be interested in. Let's jump into it. What is up, everyone? JD here. I hope you're doing well today. Got a prototype in that I'm excited to share with you guys, so let's jump into it. All right, guys, we have the prototype in from Something Sharp Knives. This is being OE'd by QSP, and it is called the Pigeon. Now, when I did the new one this week, I had just unboxed it moments before that video, so I actually did some research and diving and digging into it. I wanted to spend a little bit of time with it as well so I could collect my thoughts and give you a very good overview. Being that this is a prototype and I have learned that this blade steel is not the actual blade steel that the final product will be made in, we're just going to do overview style and not jump into it too much. All right, so first things first, we got jimping on the flipper. That actually works really well. Usually I prefer tighter, smaller jimping, but this is really well done, and he wrapped it around, or he had it wrapped around, so I really appreciate that. If you wanted, you could push button this as well, but I will say it does come to a little bit of a tip, so it may feel a little sharp with that more aggressive, thicker jimping on there, so I would stick to just flipping it. D10 on the prototype is tuned very, very well. You do also have an opening hole, and that works very well, tuned to handle both that flipper tab and the opening hole, and the access to the lock bar is good. Would I like a little bit more access? Maybe, or they could potentially just chamfer this a little bit or put some micro milling in there to make it a little bit easier for the access to the lock bar. It does feel very smooth in the pivot. QSP continues to do an excellent job with their build quality on here, and I really do like that build quality. So you're looking at raindrop carbon fiber. There are a couple of options. I think what I remember seeing was the bronze topo style carbon fiber, a dark matter style, I guess is what you would call that. You have titanium on the bolsters here. It looks like there are steel liners on the prototype running all the way through. So maybe a suggestion right out the gate, maybe just lose the steel bolster in here. Have that be all titanium and have the milling so that that carbon fiber lays on there. May drive up the price of the knife though, so keep that in mind. It could be why there's full steel liners. Also, it doesn't hurt that they're full steel liners because that does reinforce and add some strength on there. You have, I think, let me see if the steel liners are going to mess with me a little bit here. Yeah, that feels like a titanium backspacer when you go way out on the tip. Titanium pocket clip, and I'm not going to be able to tell the hardware because the steel liners are going to pull at it. Oh, they are steel. Does feel like it's potentially still hardware. I would definitely encourage you to check out the Kickstarter, and then you're going to have an S35VN reverse Tanto with a slight drop to it. If you look at it very subtly, you got a little bit of a drop, and then it hits into that reverse Tanto. You got a very acute tip. This is very aggressive. It's going to do a lot of good work with the utility cutting, but this probably will also still puncture very, very well. Like I said, I didn't bother to do any cutting with this one. It is in 14C28N. The steel that is listed as what it's going to come with at production is going to be S35VN. Got a large forge choil here. You also have a very nice sharpening choil, plunge grind way back here. Good job, QSP. And you have a lot of sharpening life. Now, I will say it is a shallow flat, so the sharpening is going to thicken up as you go up the blade because there's not a lot there. I think you could make the opening hole a little bit smaller and then bring that flat grind up just a little bit. In theory, this feels like it is slicey, but I think bringing that flat grind up a little bit and getting that geometry down is going to make it even more of a slicer. Now, the philosophy behind this could be that it's also meant to be something that you could hard use, but it is a very comfortable knife ergonomically. Even choked up, it feels very comfortable. I am feeling just a little bit of edge there. Not that it's sharp, but I can just feel a little bit of edge. And the pocket clip seems to be in a really good spot. not too high, not too low on the body, and the edges don't feel really sharp at any point anywhere when I'm holding that. So I do like that a lot. I'm going to grab my Hank. We're going to just check really quick to see if the prototype pocket clip works well or not. So I'm just going to put a little tension on there, and it's binding up. All right, so a little tight there. It could be the design, could be prototype, could be that it probably needs to be. All right, so on thinner pants, not too thick of jeans, the pocket clip's going to work very well. I fold it over to emulate like some thicker work pants, and it is a little tight look into the body there. So let me just try again. I'll probably put a little bit more tension. Yeah, it's still binding up there. If you're forcing it that much, you would have to two-hand it. So I am going to preface it all of that by saying this is a prototype. It's not a production model. They may have already identified and made the changes. The other thing that you could do, if you're watching this afterwards and you're seeing me handle a prototype, you can try to work it out a little bit to have some of the tension pulled out of there. But what I would say is you probably want to just angle that pocket clip up just a little bit. I think it would be outstanding. Fires good, nice smooth action. It's a shake home. Yeah. Going to be a great fidget knife. All right, let's go ahead and do some size comparisons and then we'll wrap it up. All right, we're going to do just a couple of quick size comparisons. You can see here it is against the Artisan Crusoe and the Concept Sibin. Definitely a full-size knife, I would say, with that acute tip, and the design of this one, when you line them up at the pivots, just a hair longer than the Crusoe. Let me go ahead and clean these up and move them out of the way. I'm not even going to, and then I'll grab the scale and we'll check the weight. All right, so again, remember, prototype. So it may vary a little bit when we get to the final product. Coming in at 4.6 for a full-size knife. Anything under 5, truthfully, is going to carry very well in the pocket. It's not going to be too heavy for you, and it's not going to feel very heavy in the hand when you go to use it. I think this is a great weight, but it could vary up or down by the time you get to a production model. Let me get this out of the way, and we'll go ahead and wrap it up. All right, guys. So the Pigeon is a Kickstarter at the time of this video. I'm going to try to push this one to the front of the line to help Something Sharp Knives with the promotion of this particular one, because if you like the design of it, it's actually a very affordable knife. As of the recording on Kickstarter, $180 S35 yen, a carbon fiber bolster of some kind. You're going to get titanium onlays with steel liners, titanium backspacer, and pocket clip. Most likely the hardware is going to be steel. It does look like they have perhaps either a anodized, this looks bronze, but anodized pivot collar or a bronzed pivot collar on top of the pivot barrel and the pivot bolt. So nice aesthetics, very good attention to detail. I didn't notice it earlier, but I do like the fact that the lines here are kind of matching. What I would like if this were cater to JD, I would like just a little bit more height. I have big hands, and on a full-size knife I do appreciate a little bit more to grab onto. I also think the slight additional height on there with a little bit of a taller flat grind would be awesome. Having said all of that, at this price point, it is an easy recommendation. QSP does fantastic work. I've handled a ton of their own knives. I've handled a ton of knives that are OE'd by them. EMP, EDC for the longest time used QSP, and they do fantastic work at a very affordable price. They do solid heat treats, build quality. It's going to be a piece that you're going to be able to hang on to for a long time. So I'm going to leave it to you as far as the decision on whether or not you like the Pigeon. I'd also say throw any feedback that you have in the comments, because if the designer reviews this and watches this video, he may go to the comments to see any of your thoughts and impressions. It may be too late if it's on Kickstarter to make any slight changes, but it may not be. So that's just where I'm at with this one. I like this piece, easy to recommendation at the price point, especially if you like the aesthetics. So again, I'm leaving it to you to decide. Shout out to KC for letting me check this out. He sent it my way to let me check out and get a review in and do a little bit of feedback on it. Again, I think it's a very nice piece. Are there some things that I personally would like to see changed because of my personal preference? Of course, but being where it is at this price point, it's a really good value and a very good design that stands out in a sea of designs that everything kind of looks like, right? If you enjoyed the video, hit that like on your way out. Affiliate links down in the description. Remember, when you use those links, it helps the channel. Special shout out and thanks to my channel members who support me as well. I'm out here, guys. I hope you have a great week. Catch you next time. Peace.